Step back into the raw and uncertain birth of the American nation between 1801 and 1809, a time when the newly formed United States was not yet a world power, not yet industrialized, not yet fully united, but filled with fierce ambition, with an unshakable belief in liberty and expansion, and with a currency still finding its identity. This was the age of President Thomas Jefferson, whose influence forever changed the course of American history, not just through the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark expedition, but through the reshaping of America's money system as the Mint of the United States, was still young and experimenting. The coins produced during these years were few in number, yet they carried enormous historical weight and national symbolism. From the draped bust, large cents, to the early silver half-dollars, every coin told a story of America's early struggles, its hope, its pride, and its unyielding push toward greatness. These were coins struck by hand with dies, engraved by artisans working under primitive conditions. These were coins that passed through the hands of farmers, merchants, lawmakers, and soldiers who were laying the foundation of the American Republic. At the same time, deep in Kentucky, a young boy named Zachary Taylor was growing up. His family, having fought in the Revolutionary War, was steeped in patriotism, discipline, and frontier resilience. And while Taylor's name would not yet make headlines, his formative years ran parallel to the Jeffersonian transformation of the American landscape and its economy. By the time he was old enough to hold a coin in his hand, the very money he used was a reflection of the fragile freedom his generation was born into. Fast forward nearly 2 centuries, and in the year 2009, the United States Mint released the Zachary Taylor Presidential Dollar as part of its bold and educational program to honor every U.S. president. This coin was more than a tribute. It was a bridge between two defining eras of American history. One man's face, minted on a modern golden dollar, connected directly to the values of the Jeffersonian age that shaped his life, his military beliefs, and eventually his short but impactful presidency. In this video, we do not simply talk about a coin. We walk through the turbulent political and economic landscape of 1801 to 1809. We examine the influence of Thomas Jefferson's philosophy of hard money, his distrust of banks, and his focus on a coin-driven economy. We dissect the historical minting process, from planchette preparation to striking errors, to the movement of precious metals from American mines to the mint's coining presses. We explore the Coinage Act of 1792 that still defined the standards of American currency, and how this law was tested and applied under Jefferson's leadership, and we trace how those standards shaped every single cent and dollar produced in this foundational decade, while the nation was still deciding whether it could truly stand alone on the world stage. You'll learn how coins from this era are valued today by collectors, historians, and economists, and how even the most worn 1802 draped bust cent or 1806 silver half-dollar carries stories that go beyond monetary worth and into the hearts of a people struggling to define freedom, stability, and national identity. The video also delves into Zachary Taylor's early life, how the coins of his youth shaped his worldview, how he rose through the military ranks by fighting in the War of 1812, the Black Hawk War, and the Mexican-American War, all conflicts tied to the territorial and political changes initiated by Jefferson and his successors, and how the ideals minted into the coins of his youth found their way into the decisions he would make as a leader of a growing and divided country. When we hold the Zachary Taylor Presidential Dollar today, we are not just holding a coin, we are holding a symbol. We are touching history in our hands, the past, the present, and the legacy of early America, all converging in a single object designed with purpose, produced with precision, and honored through collection. This is not just coin history, this is American history, told through metal, through hands, through time, and through value. Whether you are a lifelong numismatist, a curious historian, or someone who has never looked at a coin the same way after learning its backstory, this journey will change the way you view money value and the legacy of American ideals. Join us for a powerful, deep dive into the numismatic evolution of the United States from 1801 to 1809, and see how it all connects to one golden coin, bearing the face of a president forged in that very era. This is Valuable Coins History, and this is your invitation to hold the early years of America in your hand and discover the incredible story that only a coin can tell. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie hidden in the coins we carry every day? What untold stories sleep within the copper, the nickel, the silver, and the gold? This is not just about currency. This is about power, this is about history, this is about the rise of a young America. Struggling to define its soul through the metal it minted, between 1801 and 1809, the United States was undergoing a quiet revolution while the world was distracted by Napoleonic wars and European empires. Rising and falling, a new kind of republic was shaping itself on the shores of a vast, unexplored continent. Under the presidency of Thomas Jefferson and then James Madison, the nation was expanding, buying territories with coin and treaty, including the historic Louisiana Purchase, while at the same time laying the groundwork for decades of internal transformation and conflict. During these foundational years, the U.S. Mint was still a young institution. Its coinage limited in quantity but rich in symbolic weight. The draped bust large cent, the classic head half cent, the early silver dollars and half dollars, each bore a message of liberty, unity, and federal power, carefully crafted to show the world that this fledgling nation could stand on its own feet and build an economy grounded in strength, stability, and sovereignty. In those times, coins weren't just pocket change. They were statements, they were treaties, they were the lifeblood of commerce and the emblems of American ambition. Every dented cent, every worn silver dollar was a chapter in the growing book of American identity. Now fast forward to the early 2000s, when the United States Mint launched the Presidential Dollar series, an ambitious effort to honor every American president on golden dollar coins issued in order of service. One such coin bears the face of Zachary Taylor, the 12th President of the United States, but his story is deeply tied to the generation before him. The generation of 1801 to 1809, the very years in which Taylor was rising from a frontier military officer to a national hero. His family was shaped by the Jeffersonian vision of agrarian democracy, westward expansion, and individual liberty. Zachary Taylor's presidency may have come decades later, in 1849, but his ideals were forged in the furnace of early American growth and coinage. The presidential dollar that honors Taylor is not just a modern collector's piece, it is a golden doorway into a forgotten past, a symbol of a time when America was still writing its own definition, when hard coin was the only trusted form of value and paper money was still decades from gaining widespread acceptance. This video will take you deep into the minting process of the early 19th century. We will uncover how coin designs were chosen, who the engravers were, where the silver and copper were sourced, and how these decisions were all tied to America's policies, domestic and foreign. We will analyze how the mint survived political changes, economic crises, and even public criticism. Will go inside the archives of the Philadelphia Mint. Explore die varieties, errors, and surviving rarities that sell for thousands today. We'll compare historical mintage numbers with modern collector trends, and we will trace how the iconography used in coins like the draped bust and the capped bust designs influenced the golden portrait of Zachary Taylor, struck 2 centuries later on a coin that continues to circulate among collectors, historians, and patriots. The story of American coins between 1801 and 1809 is the story of a country learning how to express itself through art, metal, and policy. And when we hold a Zachary Taylor presidential dollar, we are not just holding a coin, we are holding the weight of generations. We are touching Jefferson's vision, we are feeling the footsteps of pioneers and presidents, we are witnessing the birth of a monetary identity. This is the journey of coins through conflict, politics, vision, and legacy. This is Valuable Coins History, and this is your personal invitation to travel back to the dawn of the American minting era, to see how the humble beginnings of our coinage helped shape the power and identity of the United States, and how that legacy was cast into a golden coin bearing the name of Zachary Taylor, a man whose roots were sunk deep into the very soil tilled by Jefferson, Madison, and the founders of America. In this 2-hour video, we will show you the coin that tells the story of a nation, its rise, its values, and its enduring voice, all through the power of numerology and history.